Welcome to our Nativity celebration.
This year has been an unusual year, but we still have a lot to be grateful for, and it is important for us to still remember the true meaning of Christmas.
In the busy streets of Bethlehem, people were looking for a place to stay. A census had been called and people had to return to their hometown to be registered. People desperately needed a bed for the night. The innkeepers were rushed off their feet. Meanwhile, in a town called Nazareth, there was a young lady called Mary. Mary was engaged to be married to a man called Joseph.
One day, Mary was in her garden when an amazing sight appeared. It was the angel Gabriel who had come to give Mary a very important message. The angel Gabriel said to Mary, "Be not afraid, I bring tidings of great joy."
Mary was told that she was going to have a baby and that the baby would be the Son of God.
Listen carefully as the angel Gabriel gave her the message and told her that she must call the baby Jesus. Mary was very pleased. She waited and waited for the time to come when the baby would be born. Mary and Joseph had to begin a long journey from Nazareth to Bethlehem in order to be counted. Mary rode on a donkey as Joseph walked beside her as they went on their way. At last, Mary and Joseph arrived in Bethlehem, but the town was very busy. There were people everywhere.
Mary was very tired after their long journey, and so Joseph and Mary looked for an inn for the night.
First, innkeeper heard a knock at the door. Joseph asked him if he had a room for him and Mary. The innkeeper shook his head and said, "Sorry, we are full." They knocked on a few more doors, but the innkeeper shook their heads before they even got to the door and turned them away. Mary and Joseph travelled on to the next inn.
The last innkeeper heard a tired knock on his door.
He opened the door to a man and a woman and said, "Sorry, my inn is full." The innkeeper saw how exhausted they looked and offered them his stable. "You are welcome to use my stable if you like. This is very much, but it is warm and dry."
Joseph and Mary thanked the innkeeper and followed him to the stable.
Far away in the east, 3 kings saw a bright star. They knew that this was a sign that a new king had been born. After travelling for a long time, the 3 kings came across the palace. They went inside to see the king. They were shocked to discover that no new king had been born here. King Herod demanded to know who these visitors were and what they wanted. The 3 wise men explained that they were in search of a newborn king.
Herod wanted to know where this new king was.
He asked the 3 wise men to go and find the baby and report back to him so he too could worship the baby.
The 3 wise men left and continued on their search.
That night, back in Bethlehem, Jesus was born in the stable with the animals watching over him. Mary wrapped baby Jesus in a cloth and laid him in a manger. Meanwhile, outside in Bethlehem, some shepherds were watching their sheep. It was getting late and a bit cold, so they gathered around the fire. Suddenly a bright light appeared to them. The shepherds were frightened. "Do not be afraid," the angel said. "I bring you good news. A baby has been born. He is the Son of God and called Jesus." The angel Gabriel told them they would find the baby Jesus in a stable in Bethlehem. The shepherds were very excited and they went to find Jesus. Take their sheep, they traveled to Bethlehem. When they arrived at the stable, the shepherds saw Mary and Joseph gather around the manger. The shepherds stepped forward and asked if the baby was there. Silently creeping forward, they looked at the baby Jesus and knelt down to worship him. The shepherds were filled with joy at the wonderful sight before them. The wise men were still following the star when finally it came to a stop.
They knocked on the innkeeper's door and asked if the new king was there.
The innkeeper was confused but led them to the stable where the baby had been born. Joseph welcomed the three kings into the stable. He could not believe three such important people had arrived to see his son. The kings went inside and knelt beside Jesus as he lay in a manger.
The first in of old.
The second king presented frankincense to the baby Jesus. The third king offered myrrh. Everyone looked at the beautiful baby and quietly worshipped him. He looked very peaceful and cozy in the manger. Shepherds and the three kings gave thanks to God for everything they had seen. Jesus, the Son of God, was born.
Holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth.